Meal prepping is a tool that you can use to get from where you are now to the health goals that you want to get to in the future. Now, this can be really elaborate and detailed out, or it can be very loose. But in today's video, I wanted to share with you some very basic hacks for meal prepping that maybe you already are doing, or maybe there's a couple in there that you can throw in the mix that will make things easier for you. So maybe you work 12 hours a day and you've got to plan out every single meal for yourself, and that's one end of the spectrum. Or maybe you work at home and you just want to start making double dinners so that you have some leftovers for the next day. All of these will help you wherever you're at on your journey and will get you in the right frame of mind to have your own back. So let's get started. Number one, you gotta organize your fridge. This is going to be helpful because you're gonna actually see what's inside your fridge. So I can tell you without looking in here, my fridge is a bit of a mess. I went grocery shopping last night, so let's do some organizing. So here's a prime example of what you don't want your fridge to look like. So let's declutter this so I can actually see what I got. Go through each compartment, get rid of anything that is expired or old or rotting, and you just wanna have some clarity so then when you put your food in there that you're prepping for yourself, it's like you can actually see what's in your fridge and you're gonna utilize it, eat it, save yourself some time, save yourself some money. So that feels a little bit better to me. I can see what I have, and now I actually have space to prep some things that I'm going to be doing for this upcoming week. I feel less stressed and more calm for sure. Number two, start small. Instead of trying to whip out an entire week's worth of meals, aim to do 1 or 2 meals for the upcoming week. Make sure you do your prep and your groceries on one day and then just build from there. I've seen people really burn out on this, and it's because they're trying to do all or nothing, right? So little bit at a time, you're gonna actually incorporate something like this into your daily habits. Number 3, make a plan. Now, I have an entire video on this, so I won't talk about it at length, but you can watch the video down below. But it's very important to kind of have an idea of what you're gonna be making for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for yourself throughout the week, getting to the grocery stores, getting to the items that you need to have that available for you. And this again can fit to your lifestyle. Find what works for you, and over time, as you create a habit of doing this, it's going to really help you succeed. So one thing that's not in that other video that I just talked about is this new concept that I've been trying, which is just writing things down on sticky notes and rotating them. So you can do like 10 sticky notes with your favorites that your whole family likes, maybe a couple of new recipes that you want to try out, and maybe some healthy versions of junk food that you can throw in the mix. Then every week you're kind of getting something new and it doesn't get old and disgusting, which is going to be what keeps you afloat on this path. Number 4 is to keep inventory. And I do this with a running list on my phone. Every time I run out of something, I write it down. This helps me so much. This is probably one of the things that has helped me the most. And then I'm not running to the grocery store 5 times a week because I've already written down what I'm out of, and then I can just continue to build my grocery store list. So keep inventory. Number 5, prep your produce right away. So this can look like different things for different people, but for me, it really saves time to wash like my lettuce and my produce ahead of time. Maybe for you, that is chopping some onions ahead of time, chopping some garlic ahead of time, and keeping it in the fridge. That way it's ready to go. Think about like a Subway sandwich shop. You've got all those components already ready to go, and all you got to do at that time is build the sandwich. So I know that someone's going to say I didn't wash this properly. So do it to the extent that you feel you need to with the water that you have available and the produce that you buy. So for me, what I like to do is just wash my lettuce and have it ready in a paper towel. I'll stick it in a glass container like this with a lid, and just that alone makes the idea of having a salad for me so much easier. It's ready to go, and I'm just going to chop it up and eat it. This can also be done with your grapes or berries. You can either keep things like bell peppers whole, or you can chop them. Now, obviously you're gonna lose some nutrients if you chop everything ahead of time, but if chopping things ahead of time is going to keep you on top of your game and not have you going out to fast food, then lose a little bit of the nutrients. It's gonna be way better for you to eat the veggies that have already been chopped than to not eat the veggies at all. Number 6, you can prep your breakfast the night before. So I'm gonna show you how to make some smoothie bags, which are a really easy way to do that, and I'll also give you some other options. So an easy way to do this is to just use a Ziploc bag or another container that you feel is appropriate for you, and put single serving amounts of your smoothie in here. And then when it's time, all you gotta do is add liquid. So I'm gonna put some mango in here, gonna add my berries for my antioxidants on a daily basis. I'm gonna add my banana, and I'm going to add an omega-3 seed, like chia seeds or hemp seeds, and I'll rotate that throughout the week. Then I've got everything inside of here. You could even add frozen greens in here if you wanted. Put it in the freezer, and then when I'm ready to make my smoothie, all I have to do is add water or a plant milk or liquid of choice and a couple handfuls of greens. It's easy, and I can make my smoothie in like 2 minutes. So that is like an easy breakfast. There's really no excuse with a 2-minute breakfast. Okay, so that's that. Another thing you could do is actually, if you wanted to make like a fresh juice it the night before. What you wanna do is fill it all the way up to the top, put a lid on, and stick it in the fridge. Most of the time, your juices are gonna be fresh for about at least 12 hours, depending on what kind of juicer you have, if not longer. So that's something you can do for yourself. You could also do something like make overnight oats or chia pudding and portion that out throughout the week so that breakfast is done and thought about and you are all set for success. My next one is to just make 2 sauces in one. So what I mean by that is I'm gonna make a pasta sauce right now, and then I'll have leftovers of this same sauce that I'm gonna put a pizza on by like Friday. I've got a lot of sauce recipes that, I will link down in the description for you guys if you want some recipe ideas. But this is really just a simple marinara with some veggies sauteed in it that I can repurpose again later in the week. Number 8, try batch cooking and learn what works for you. For me personally, the thing I use my Instant Pot for the most is batch cooking beans and grains. And so right now I'm going to just make some rice for the week. I really like batch cooking grains and beans. It gives me the possibility to make a lot of different things throughout the week. So with something as simple as rice, I know that I can easily throw that into a bowl, a salad, a Mexican dish, an Asian dish. I have a lot of possibilities at hand. And then I typically do a bean on a weekly basis as well. Okay, number 9, this is a really obvious one, but if you're watching this and you're like, there's no way I'm gonna do all this meal prepping, just double up the meals that you do make. So if you're making like a pad thai, double the recipe, then that way you know you have some lunch for the next day or maybe dinner for later in the week. Really, really simple way to start adding meal prep elements to your week. Number 10, use glass for storage. Not only is this a healthier option, you'll be able to see what's in your fridge. And if you have something like this, which is just a Pyrex glass Tupperware type of thing, you can actually put this straight in the oven. You don't have to wash anything else. It's easy to reheat things. I also like to reuse a lot of glass jars. So you don't even have to go out and spend extra money on something like this. Like this is a pickle jar. I just saved the lid and I can put soup in here, beans in here, any kind of leftovers, easy to do. I also like glass for freezing things because then I can use like single serving, like this is 8 ounces of, these are frozen beans, by the way. And then I can put that out. I know that I can throw that into a soup real quick, or I can just stick it in the fridge and I know that I'm not gonna have a bunch of leftovers that I'm not gonna eat. This is something that I've been doing lately and I really enjoy like these smaller jars for freezing because I can make a batch cook some beans basically once a month and then have enough beans for the entire month. So this is a pickle jar that I use to freeze some potato soup, and when I know that I want to have that in the upcoming week, I just stick it in my fridge, let it defrost on its own, and I've got a meal for like 2 days. And number 11, I'm going to show you how to make a jar salad, which is a great way to have some lunches prepped for yourself a few days in advance. So with the right layering with this, you can bring this on the go and just eat your salad like this. Now maybe you've seen this before, but it doesn't seem very practical. I'll show you how to layer it. So I'm just finishing up these jar salads, which I think are really a fun and festive way to have this in your fridge. But you do want to be mindful of the layering. Obviously, I'm going to put lids on these. These are just sticking out, so it looks pretty for you. But basically, if you're going to add some grains or beans, you want to put those on the bottom. And then you can do things like crunchier vegetables. And then you always want to, if you want to put some nuts or seeds in there, you totally can. And then put the lettuce on the top because that's going to wilt farther. Some people like to put dressing in the bottom. I don't particularly because depending on how long this is going to sit, I don't want it to get gross and soggy. But if you're doing it like the night before, dressing on the bottom so that it stays nice and crisp. And then when you're ready to eat, you just mix it together with a fork and you've got a salad in a jar. I love this idea. It's so cute. So all of these ideas are really simple and something that you could incorporate. So I hope you grab one or two of them and put them into practice for your upcoming week. Leave a comment down below if these jogged your memory and you have any hacks that you want to share with the community. It's always really great to have even more ideas. If you want even more hack videos, watch these ones right up here and check the description for recipes that you can utilize with these tips to make things easier on yourself. I'm wishing you all the health and all the wellness, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.